Hey there, Conflicts and Courage, May 27th, the real king. 1 Samuel 14:24 says, Cursed be the man that eateth any food until evening, that I may be avenged on mine enemies. That's King Saul talking presumptuously. The command to refrain from food was prompted by selfish ambition, and it showed the king to be indifferent to the needs of his people when these conflicted with his desire for self exaltation. To confirm his prohibition by a solemn oath showed Saul to be both rash and profane. The very words of the curse give evidence that Saul's zeal was for himself and not for the honor of God. He declared his object to be not that the Lord may be avenged on his enemies, but that I may be avenged on mine enemies. During the day's battle, Jonathan, who had not heard of the king's command, unwittingly offended by eating a little honey as he passed through a wood. Saul learned of this at evening. He had declared that the violation of his edict should be punished with death. And though Jonathan had not been guilty of a willful sin, though God had miraculously preserved his life and had wrought deliverance through him, as we learned yesterday, the king declared that the sentence must be executed. To spare the life of his son would have been an acknowledgement on the part of King Saul that he had sinned in making so rash a vow. This would have been humiliating to his pride. God do so and more also was his terrible sentence. Thou shalt surely die, Jonathan. At Gilgal, but a short time before, Saul had presumed to officiate as priest, contrary to the command of God. When reproved by Samuel, he had stubbornly justified himself. Now, when his own command was disobeyed, though the command was unreasonable and had been violated through ignorance, the king and father sentenced his son to death. The people refused to allow the sentence to be executed. Braving the anger of the king, they declared, Shall Jonathan die, who hath wrought this great salvation in Israel? God forbid. As the Lord liveth, there shall not a hair of his head fall to the ground, for he hath wrought with God this day. The proud monarch dared not disregard this unanimous verdict, and the life of Jonathan was preserved. Hope you have a great day today. Live courageously.